All right, and we are live. So we even got music this time, Andy. So we're getting more and more improved as we kind of go through a little challenges. Sorry, we're a couple minutes late, but we are live in Website Rescue episode number 2. And today we are going to go and continue everything that we're trying to do as far as rebuilding this actual website and getting it to where it's pretty feasible. So I don't know about you, Andy. Are you ready to kind of go in and build some websites?
I sure am, and I'm excited to. I just want to review everything that we went over, take about 5 minutes. If you could send me that link to the sitemap, and I can kind of go over it, and then what we're going to do today.
So yeah, I think you got it in your email if you check now. And you should be going in there.
Yes, now I got it.
So with that being said, just so just kind of a little bit of a recap. So last week what we did is we decided to go in, and what we did is we basically went in and showed you like what other church sites that are very like that we assume are profitable and just have a better kind of like navigation and everything else are working and how they're working. And we gave a couple of examples, and we gave you kind of like the strategy behind it, what we're going to try to do. And then what we did is we kind of laid out a sitemap of what the site after it's all said and done is going to kind of look like. So we kind of gave it basically like a little bit of a roadmap. And Andy's going to kind of share the screen, and I'm going to kind of walk us through it a little bit, right? So if we go into, let's see if I can get these screens switched up. Oh, that's actually a nicer one, but let's do, go ahead, Andy. Do you want to go ahead and share that screen?
Sure, I sure will. So really quickly, just to go over what we had last time, what we're doing is we're taking this website, Miracle Mission, and we are re-engineering it. We're redesigning it. And one of the things that we did last week is that we figured out a sitemap, all the different pages and the information of what we're going to do on the home page. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to generate a new website, basically an empty site. I've already pre-done it in SiteGround, which is our preferred vendor for hosting, and I'll go over the reasons why in a minute. But we're basically going to build a shell today for this website, putting in all the info, all the colors. We're going to take this logo that's already on the home page, add it to the system, kind of come up with some ideas of how we're going to lay out and show you how we choose the design from Divi's library of pre-made designs and so forth. So if you're ready, Nuno, I'm gonna just get right into it.
Yeah, no problem. So go ahead and get right into it.
Okay, great. So what I've done before this live is I've already generated a site in SiteGround. SiteGround is who we use for our hosting. The reason we use it, and by the way, we're not, this isn't an affiliate link or anything like that, but you can just kind of check it out, see what they're all about. They give a great, for a very good price, they give a, for a very good price, they give a really secure hosting environment with backups, daily backups, more than enough space that you're going to need or anything like that. So that's the reason that we go with it. And what I've done, because I already have accounts, I've spun up an empty WordPress website. Now that empty WordPress website has already been just from a couple clicks, and I'll have a video on it later for you to go in. But in a couple clicks, we've been able to put up a WordPress website. If we go to this site right now, you'll just see it's an empty WordPress website. But I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to go into the admin section of our website. And this has the auto login, and sometimes it's a little wonky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into the back end and put my login information that I've already in there. And what they have in here is a plugin that kind of sets up your WordPress website for you automatically. I prefer not to use this because I like to use Divi. Divi is my preferred vendor, but if you do want to go through here, you can start it and go through all the steps of putting it to basically, it's going to make a site for you. It's going to help you choose a theme. It's going to help you put in any plugins that it believes that you're going to need, but I'm not going to be showing that to you now. What I am going to do is I'm going to hit exit, and just go to the regular page. And we're already logged in. And as you can see, the site is live. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at my plugins. I'm going to see which plugins I have here. As I'm building it, I'm going to deactivate security, and I'm going to deactivate the optimizer, and I'm going to deactivate central. The reason I'm doing that is I want a bare open space. I don't want any plugins affecting how I'm actually building the website. I want to have it as stripped down as a site as possible for when I do design. So I'm going to go to Appearance, and I'm going to add a theme. And the way I'm going to do that, now this is very interesting. It seems that even though it has pre-installed WordPress, WordPress is on 6.0, not 6.01. So I'm going to actually update that now. I'm just going to click that there, and I'm going to update the site. And this should just take a minute. Okay, we're totally updated. So I'm going to go to Appearance. I'm going to go to Themes. I'm going to click Add New. And I'm going to upload a new theme. And I've already pre-downloaded the Divi theme, and I'm just going to install it right now. Now, the reason we use Divi is it's super easy to work within it, to have different boxes and different views and sort of like that, so you can make the content of your site really sing and do whatever you like. So now I'm going to hit Activate. Okay, so the site is activated. If I go to it right now, if I refresh this, you're going to see that the base Divi site has already been set up. But there's a little bit of work that I need to do before I can start designing my website. I'm going to go into Themes, and I'm going to customize, I'm going to go to Settings, General, and I am, Divi Theme Options, and I'm going to go to Updates, and I'm going to put in my information for my API key. I'm going to do this off screen really quickly. This will just take me a moment. That way I'll be able to use their library for all of my, for all of my Divi themes, so I can just start building immediately. You're about to say
so yeah, Andy, I was going to ask you, so what do you mean by library? Well, what about Divi, when you say library, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So Divi is owned by a company called Elegant Themes. Elegant Themes, if we go to their homepage, has a library of all these different pre-made layouts, about 2,000 of them. And it gives us a chance to kind of, I'm not saying that you have to use this and that you can't kind of vary or do something brand new, but it gives us something off point. And they have great themes, anything from an orthodontist to a church to a car repair. So if I type in church, actually, you'll see that they already have a pre-made site that we could use. I actually, now that I'm looking at this, so I don't think that this fits the theme of what they have. So I'm probably going to choose a theme that isn't even a church and turn it into a church with kind of colors that they have and the look and feel that I want to go with for. So we're going to look through this in just a second. But just to go back, I've already installed the theme and I've got that ready to go. You have a question, Nuno?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, like, so basically what you're saying is, and this would go for any builder, right? I mean, I know there's different builders out there. I mean, we're not really fond of any of the different builders, but we have like Divi Builder, Elementor, all these things it just makes it easier to build on the WordPress kind of, platform. So it's more, it converts WordPress to be more drag and drop. And just for anybody that doesn't know, a drag and drop builder is exactly what it means. It means I can have, if I wanted to add like a headline, I would drag over a headline. If I wanted to add, like a content box or an image, I would just drag and upload an image and drag it into place. So the cool thing about these drag and drop builders, it makes for a person who's not a coder to actually build the sites. And I don't know about you, Andy, but if we start aging ourselves, I mean, back in the day, you used to have to hard code all this stuff. So physically write a code in order to have something appear on the website. And now with all these different builders, it makes it easy. We prefer Divi just because we really like the way it functions. It's very easy to explain. When we build things for customers, we can actually teach the customers on how to use it. And I love what the way Andy always designed these pages. He just finds what he believes is the better fit in this library and just shoves it in there. So then we have to find the church, layout, and the church layout might not work for, kind of what we planned out. And I like the fact that you could just take any of the layouts that probably has the features right that we're looking for and kind of just use that to kind of go over. So for instance, what are the features you're kind of like looking for as you're searching for the library or through the library that you want to use?
Okay, well, some of those features and some of the things that I like is I want, just by kind of speaking with the client, when you're designing a site and you already have a site that's already online that's not working for them, you want to not make it so it's such a drastic pull away from what they're working in. So they actually have already told me that these are still their colors and this is still their basic logo and so forth. But you want to make it, you kind of, when you speak to the client, you can feel how their personality, what they're looking for. And these people, they're conservative, but they're also a lot of fun. Very, very sweet people. They want a very open, airy feel. That's one of the things we discussed. So when we're looking at all these different layouts, and we look at something like this coffee one as an example, this would be something that would be far too dark for what they're going for. They want something based on the theme of miracles and brightness. So we want to have something that's open, and you can really get that by talking to a person. I don't know the quote exactly, but Einstein said something to the effect of, "You never do something brand new. You kind of just take something that has already existed and just adjust it to yourself." So just as you can imagine, we want to find something light and airy. Like for instance, this flower shop one. This is bright, airy. We're not going to be looking at a top nav right now. All we're doing is looking for an interior.
Well, what's a top nav?
So this is, I'm actually going to...
Well, so Andy, I'm sorry. What do you mean by top nav?
So if we look at a top navigation, we have our logo here, and we have our links. That would be the top navigation. What we're really concentrating on first to start off with is this area right here, which is the interior of the page. What I'm looking for is that I'm looking for that interior to give me a jumping off point. So I'm going to go back to that layout list, and I'm going to kind of just based off of speaking to people, I think you're pretty smart with this. Something that isn't a church, but still might have that look and feel of a church, is something like education. So if I click on education, I might find a theme that works for me.
Yeah.
Or if I pick something like...
I actually think...
lifestyle.
I think lifestyle will be a little bit better. I think if it has the features we're looking for, like we talked about, right? Like we want a nice background with a call to action, and then a possible area in between. So definitely something light, right? Like we want the brighter colors. It is a church. We want to feel uplifted. So a lot of what I want to do is basically around that. I mean, if I think of it logically, right? Like that's not bad. Not a real big fan of that one. I actually like, I think we just passed it, the dentist one right there, no? Or what's the live and on demand?
This one right here?
I like the colors. Obviously, it's the colors are just really.
Yeah,
nice,
I feel like this will be a hard one.
So
this is
right?
this is a bit of a thing. We have to remember. We have to remember who the client is when we design. It's super, super important. And the reason we do is some of these designs are very cool, but also very, very intricate. And we have to make sure that they are able to maintain their website on their own. So we never want to choose, like unfortunately this one, because I've looked at this one before, that has very intricate design, because then they're not going to be able to update themselves, and always asking us to help them build it. And the whole purpose of this is, remember, because this is much more of a volunteer effort, we want to make it as simple and easy for them to maintain.
Yeah, and
so
that makes
believe
sense.
it or not, I'm going to take, so like for instance, I'm going to take I believe that this is actually pretty good. This wedding venue one.
Oh, yeah,
Wedding
that
is
looks
very
pretty good.
simple
Yeah.
because it has some of the features that I like a lot. I'm going to go over them. We have an area that we can have the call to action with a button area. We've got our story. Our story is going to be about the church. Here we have the wedding couple. Obviously, we're going to change this to the people who are a part of the congregation. In this countdown area, I can envision, Nuno, having that video that we spoke about.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
that live
and then,
video.
yeah, I think that would be pretty cool.
That would,
And I'm wondering,
right,
Andy,
and then if
you
we
could
go down
Oh, I'm
here-
sorry. The delay is killing me.
Okay,
No, I
so
was
I'll
gonna
let
say.
me just go through the page real quick.
What
was that?
I was gonna say, like, the countdown would be cool, because what I was envisioning there with that countdown, the second I saw it, we can probably put like a reoccurring countdown of whenever the next live church function is. And I'm just thinking out loud, again, just a feature that we might just have, like a resetting clock that every 7 days kind of counts down to the next live session on YouTube or something along that lines. Because they did mention
I
that they
actually
have it.
think, I think the countdown is cool, but I also don't think it would work because I think people want to see the Sunday service and then they would see the last Sunday service there. So it's either what's live or what just was in the past. I think would be more benefit there, because if we do it by the second, then we have to worry that they might not go live at exactly that second and really confuse people.
Yeah, no, okay, that makes sense.
So I would want to just, so I'm thinking about putting the live here and maybe the background of the church here, taking their image, and I can have a little bit of fun, but that's going to be a little advanced, but maybe a little background of the church here. And then we have some more basic information, and then a gallery is always good because it shows off what they do there. And we'll figure out what to do with this section, but I think this section is actually really key. This is, of course, the map. And in the map, people got to go to church. They need to know where it is. So we can put that right, and then follow along. This would be their blog entries. And instead of RSVP here, a form using our automation, we'll drop a form in here for a person to get contacted to possibly join the church. And that's basically their homepage. Now, if we look at the about areas, they also kind of just fit real nice. It's super clean, and this is going to be one that it's going to be really easy for them to maintain. So, what do you think? Is this? Do you think we've chosen a good one here?
Yeah, I think so. I think
The wedding one?
That's exciting. Yeah, let's work through it.
And what's really cool is that it's so light that we can change colors fairly easily on this. So I'm going to go with that one. So I'm going to go back to my WordPress site. I'm going to go back to these theme options. This is what's really cool. I'm going to create a new page. Okay? I'm going to close this information. I'm going to title it Homepage. Okay? I'm going to hit Publish, and I always like to pre-publish it before I hit the Divi Builder so that it makes its link. It makes its permalink. And its permalink, just so that you know, is the link that is used by the system to have a page. So in this case, it'll be home-page. In a little while, I'll show you how we're going to make that the final home page where you don't even need this word here, but I'll do that in a moment. Now, all we got to do now is click Edit with Divi Builder. It's going to take a second to spin up. There's a tour here. I've used this a million times, so I don't need the tour. But I'm going to start building, and I'm going to choose my pre-made layout. I'm going to go to the wedding. I'm going to choose the home page. That was the one I did. And I'm going to use this layout. It's going to load up. This goes fairly quickly. It's downloading any imagery that's actually, it's pre-installing that imagery. I'm obviously going to switch that out later on. Okay, it's installed. And it is to go. All right, Nuno, this was a great live. I really enjoyed it. I think we're good for the day. I'm just kidding, folks. We have a lot more work to do. But just to let you know, the page is built. Yeah, it was really, really that easy. If you look here, I've got this image in the background. I've got our story section, as I said. I've got this area. It's all done. A lot of my work is done. The font has been chosen. This area has been loaded. All the information here is ready to go. Gallery images, it's all done. We have a a fake map in here right now. This one's a little weird. We're going to have to add the Google API, but we'll show you that a little bit later. And all that information is right there. So if I hit save and I exit the Visual Builder,
there you go. You got a live page.
It's a live page.
Yep.
It's all done. It's all done, ready to go. Now, obviously, we got a lot of stuff to change in here. We got to do a lot of work. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the back end, and I'm actually going to make this my home page. And the way I do that is I go Settings, Reading. I choose a static page, your home page displays, and I'm going to choose that home page that I just created. Now, if I go to this home page and refresh it, it just has the base URL. And obviously, when we go live, Nuno, this is going to have the domain that they're using, which is going to be Miracle Missions. But right now, we're just using this one temporarily. All right? So now that we've done that, I've got to pull some stuff here. I've got to turn this into this. So now's when the fun begins. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click on their logo, and I'm going to save it as a PNG. So I have that in my downloads folder. And I've already downloaded. You can't see it in the way that we're sharing, but it did save it. And I'm going to then also be grabbing some of these colors, and I hope that they have some imagery that I can use right off the bat. Let's take a look. We have our pastor, our mission, our services. That's an interesting image with the cross. I bet you I can find something close to that. New church site. This is the image. Let's look up Miracle Missions Full Gospel Church on Google. Believe it or not, you can find a lot of your clients' imagery online already by just doing a quick Google search. So, Miracle Missions Full Gospel Church.
And again, usually you would have a little bit more pictures. You would have a full client file. The fact that we're doing this, kind of the way we're working through it, is just kind of, we're kind of ad hocing and kind of moving it along just so you can see how you can use this and pretty much be very, persuasive in how you get the information, as you can see here.
Well, so what I want to do next, since there's not really that much imagery except for the logo, as you can see here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a cool background with a cross online. And there's a bunch of free websites that we can go to. And I'm going to bring one up right now. So just hold tight, and I'm going to get a link to where we can find some free imagery for this website. Okay, let me go to my image resources. Now, this is a site called Pexels. I can use any of these images for the background of my website. These are totally free. It's Pexels, Pexels.com, and pretty soon, if you go to automatedmarketer.net, you're going to have a link to all of our different resources. But let's look through here. I'm going to let you choose an image that you like as I scroll through here and download and use on the site. Something that we can use to replace this background.
I kind of like the one that actually we just got right there. So that's a good one right there. Not that one, but the one right behind it. The one right underneath it, I should say.
That
one's
here?
a pretty good one. It's got like light coming in the background. I think it's kind of nice. So that's one.
Cool.
Maybe.
So I'm going to right click on it, open it in a new tab as a choice.
Keep going down.
Now we want to use the one that we want to use. Very important, is you see how this one is a vertical image, a portrait, and then this is a landscape. Since this is going to be a landscape image, this area, we want to make sure that we're also finding a landscape image.
Agreed, yeah. And I was kind of looking for that, but again, I don't think the normal person would know that. So it doesn't mean that things become harder. You just have to look for that specific image. That one to the top right there that we just passed. Go down a little bit more. Down a little bit more.
This?
Nope, right there. That one's a pretty good one on the right-hand side.
This one with the clouds?
Yeah, with the clouds and everything else, I think that looks pretty good.
And I'm going to choose one more. There's such great images. Totally for free. Totally ready for begging to be used.
I like the fact that you said begging to be used. That's pretty nice.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what they're for, you know? Hold on, I saw something at the top that I want to look at again. I really liked not that one. Maybe
See, what I'm also thinking about, folks, while we're doing it, one, we got to be careful, like, not to bring a lot of other buildings into it, because you know, this is obviously at a specific location. We don't want to confuse, right? So a lot of these places we can tell, and again, this is just through experience, that they might not be in the same country, in the same state, kind of feel to it. So you don't want to confuse people by the imagery also. So if they all of a sudden see this crazy Gothic looking church, and then all of a sudden, you know, they go there and it's not there, then it's going to confuse. Where these images that we selected are a little bit broader. They don't really have like a building in the background, so it gives us a little bit more options. Yeah, that's not bad too, Andy. I could see that one working.
So they're in upstate New York. So here's the thing. From what I did, just a little bit of research off camera, their building is being built right now. So we don't want to show anything what they're building just yet. So this is, I do love this image. That's a gorgeous image. This one is cool, and I love this one. So I'm gonna put these two in our back pocket for different pages and use this one. And I'm just gonna click on free download, and it's gonna download right to the system. Okay, right into my download folder. Now if I go, if I go to my home page, I'm going to change this image right here now. By enabling the Visual Builder and then clicking in the area, I'm going to go into background, and there is already a light white image on there on the front. So this image, has a background color on top of it, gives it that nice ashed out appeal, that ashed out feeling. So I'm going to click on this little cog. I'm going to select the file from my download folder. Yeah, I like big words. I like big words. And let's see how big this image was. Now I just uploaded this image raw, you know, and I probably shouldn't have done that, because I bet you. Actually, I got lucky. This was only 366 kilobytes.
Yeah, now let's pause there, because that's a big one. That is an absolute big thing that a lot of people don't understand. So let me kind of, while Andy sets this up and starts downloading the picture and starts like kind of working through this, here's something that everybody needs to understand, right? When it comes to websites and website optimization, which is something that we're going to kind of go on, and we're going to have different videos in our channel about it, website optimization matters, because what happens is, if I go into your site and it takes 4 hours to load, and I'm obviously exaggerating, but the larger the picture, what will happen is the worse the experience, because it's just going to overload the website, and it's going to not allow for other things to load properly. And if you're on the cell phone, remember, on a cell phone, you're not using like massive, internet speeds and everything else. So the bigger the page, because of the images, the slower the site will load. And the slower the site will load, the harder people are going to have to navigate it. One. Two, Google's not going to like when you're Google or any search engine is not going to like when your speeds are taking that long to load, because if they see your site versus somebody else's site, it will give more preference to somebody else's site just based on how fast your page is loading, which is super important, because if you don't do it that way, what will happen over time is it will rank you lower and lower. So when you're trying to hit the search algorithms, or people are trying to find you, if your site is super slow and not built right, Google will kind of just like slow you down and just eventually stop showing you. So it's just something really important for you to realize and understand. But it's very, very important as you're building these sites that you think about. So what Andy did is absolutely right. Usually when we download any kind of pictures that we're going to be leveraging on the site, we always check the size of the image. Now, I don't know if you guys could see, but that image had a byte size of 398, which is not bad, and it's K for kilobytes. When you start getting into the megabytes, which is M, anything that starts with an M, then things start to really slow down. So on average, what would you say, Andy, that the average picture size that we need to lower is usually like what, like 250, 350 around there?
Well, Nuno, that's a great question. So I would say you want to be anywhere between 500K and below. It used to be back in the old days, and I'm again dating myself, that you always wanted to try to keep your page load to 1 megabyte for page load. Um,
But
we don't need to do it that small.
that's all the pictures, right, Andy?
Yeah, that's
Like a one, okay.
everything on the page. Yeah, that was everything on the page. So you had to take into account every image you were putting in to get to that 1 megabyte. We don't need to be that conservative nowadays, but I like to because I gotta tell you, the faster you can get that page to load, the better it's gonna be for your audience, and it's gonna keep them on the page longer. Because there's nothing worse than waiting for a website to load. So, I want to go over something really quickly. So, and I'm going to show a trick right now that I think is. Okay, hold on just 1 second. I've been told that my mic needs to be.
Yeah, welcome to live shows where the mics all of a sudden stop working midway, and we don't know why.
Is my mic working now?
Not at all. There is some crazy feedback going on right now.
How about now?
Well, we're gonna take a quick little pause until Andy sorts this out. So I'm gonna put some music back on, and I'm just gonna have us go back in. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on. Now you're good.
Okay, I just pressed one button. Okay.
You didn't like the button you pressed, but
absolutely.
All right, let's go back to it. So let me see.
All right.
If I can get you going.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. It's always fun, messing around with this. There we go.
Alrighty. Actually, Nuno, that was. How's my voice now? Is it working out good?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. I guess it's just got all of a sudden you went robotic.
Yeah, I didn't touch anything. All right. So I have my image here now. This version of WordPress automatically will update the image size sometimes, and that's really important. Sometimes you really want to do it on your own, and I'm going to show you a trick. If you type in image optimization for web, you're going to get all these free tools to optimize your image. And if I go to them, you see this one called Tiny PNG? If I click on Tiny PNG, I can use this to make my image smaller. Now, the original image that I downloaded, which is of that cross, is actually 2 megabytes. And I want to ensure that I've done better than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in here. You see, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, you can't. I see right now, but I'm choosing my image megabytes. As you can see, 2 megabytes. It's uploading it. And again, this is totally free, tinypng.com. Okay, it's compressing it. It's making it smaller. Just give it a moment. And this works for Smart Web Ps, which I don't use too often, PNGs and JPEGs. I'm going to download that. I took that from 2 megabytes down to just under a kilobyte, which is really, really good. Now, and if you were to see the image on my side, it looks just as clear. There are some other techniques that I can do, and I could even theoretically run it through again. But it's really, there's some very, very cool tools here. But I was able to bring that 2 megabytes down to 1 megabyte. So now when I go to the page and I edit it, and I choose my image. Oops. Sorry about that. I'll do it here. I'll go to background. I'm a little flablunget today, I'm sorry.
Oh, wow, another big word.
All right. Yeah, flablunget, if no one knows, means I don't know what I'm doing for a second. Like my mind's racing all over the place. So I'm going to click on this again. I'm going to upload the image that I just updated. Give it a second to load in, to process. And I didn't lose that much kilobytes when it redid itself, but it's still better than it was. So I'm going to upload that image and have it there. Now, I think this is a little too washed out for my taste.
Yeah, I was going to say,
So
it's
I'm
a little
gonna go
too
in
white.
here.
A little too white, yeah.
Yeah, a little too white. So I'm actually going to pull this back just a little bit. This has an interesting image blend on it. This must have some kind of other imagery on here. So I'm going to have to work on this one a little bit later on. So I'll just leave this for now. But I put in the name Miracle Missions Full Gospel Church. If I click here, I was able to change the name right there. Now I can change the size of that text because I feel that it's too big just by going to Design, Title Text, and right now it's at 96 pixels. I'm going to make that smaller. All I got to do is drag it, and I want to try to get just down to 2 lines. That looks a lot better. Now, Nuno, based on what we've seen before, what do you think would be a good word here for the call to action?
Yeah, so I really like, I don't know if you remember, but I actually think we want 2 calls to action. One is join us live or watch us or something along that lines, right? Like, I think definitely join us and then or watch us or something. But for now, let's keep to join us, and then we'll add a secondary button. But join us.
Well, this automatically.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
This
watch us
automatically
live. That's great.
adds. Yeah. So we have join us and watch us live. Now here's the thing. I've got to rebuild this whole thing to make it look like that. But I have a trick. If I go to the design and I go to button 1, I have these 3 little dots here. It allows me to copy the button style, and then I go to button 2.
Oh, look at that.
And if this works correctly, paste the style.
Wow.
And automatically,
cool.
It's ready to go. Yeah,
That's
it's
very,
cool.
very
They
cool.
just added that thing. That's a new trick. Now, so I've done this. It's a little... I'm going to play with it a little bit more to work through it. But the thing I want to work on now, though, is
Hey, can we get rid of the getting married, though, Andy? Since we're already just focusing on that top.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you, Nuno. Yeah. Let's see if they have any other quotes. All are welcome. Why don't we change it to all are welcome?
I actually
That's
love
always
that.
a nice thing to say. All are welcome.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's absolutely great. I absolutely love
Okay.
that. But let's
And
just
you know
take a
what
look
I'm
at
also
that.
gonna do?
Let's pause for a quick second. And
One more thing I want to do because I can't help it. I
okay,
just want to upload their logo. There we go. Even though we're going to be putting the logo on the top navigation, I just wanted to also put it there. You were saying,
Yeah, I actually think it's the logo will be better either in the top navigation or a little bit maybe right where the mission is, right at the bottom, because I think it's taken away from the call to action. It's a very nice logo, but I think it's just got a lot of colors to play with, and it's taken away from kind of the design feel to it. I actually think that logo will serve really better on the next section, like in that area, because like that can stay.
to it. So design is collaboration, folks.
That's absolutely right.
Just so
See, now it looks. The only
don't
reason
be
is
married.
I was going to say the only thing is,
Yeah,
is
go.
it kind of just keeps me focused on what you want me to do right away, right? Yeah. Again, within the first 3 seconds, you should already be giving a call to action for a customer to do something on your site. One, and we have it too. And I don't want to be distracted with anything else right when I get into that first page. So the logic of it now. Andy's design, he's got it down packed, right? But let's just look at the old site real quick versus already the beginning of the new site. Look how of a different experience you're already going to have right at the beginning. And this is why we're designing part by part. Look at that. Like, I don't know what to do. Here, I have only the selection of 2 buttons right when I get into the page. And it's already small. It's all are welcomed. I know exactly that it's a church site, which church site it is, And then I have either join us or watch us live. So I only have literally 2 options before I move up or down from the page. So that's why I really like call to actions right at the beginning, because you're telling people to do that within the first 2 seconds of them going to the website. They're already getting these like very clear, go do this. So I just wanted to pause there because I just want to make sure that as we're building this out, we're definitely educating at the same time, so people understand like what we're putting the thought process to it. And I know that this sounds a little overwhelming, and you're seeing a lot of clicking of buttons and everything else. And we're going to do this very often, folks. So, and also remember, there are also going to be videos inside of our regular YouTube channel that's going to walk through this a little bit slower and in pieces and in parts. That's going to allow you to do this on your own. So I just want to make sure we stay on that same page, Andy, because I like the fact that we're building bit by bit, because I think that that's what's going to be important for folks to see.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now, is I've already kind of, you keep talking to that, because what I'm doing now in the back end is I have some I need to refresh again. Hold on just 1 minute.
It's very interesting. Your mic doesn't.
How about down here now?
Nah, I still got
Is my mic still an issue?
Yep.
Yep, hold on. See you in a moment, folks.
So again, while Andy is fixing his mic, I'll continue on with this. There is something that people really need to focus on.
Can you hear me better
right?
now?
We can.
Can you hear me better now? Okay,
Yep.
good.
All
Okay,
right.
sorry about that.
And actually, I think I'm frozen, believe it or not. So
You are frozen.
All kinds of,
the joys
all
of
kinds
going
of issues.
live.
That's amazing. So all things are apparently my camera decided to stop working too. So you see, folks, this is what happens when you're completely live. But I'm going to actually switch back to you because it looks like you're doing good, while I figure out my own issue here.
Actually, you are sharing your screen. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm working through it. Hold on 1 second. That's us and me frozen again, which is amazing. There we go. I think that is you. There you go, Andy.
All right. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be changing this top navigation. So here we go. I need to put their navigation in here. I think based on what we're doing here, I want to put the logo. I'm feeling like it's going to go in the center. But the logo that they have on here, this isn't much. It's not that it's not much of a logo, but the logo seems like it would be kind of hard to put in the top navigation. So what I want to do is I'm going to center the logo when I'm done with it, and I'm going to put the information below it. But if I center the logo, it's going to be hard to put this Miracle Mission Full Gospel Church. So Nuno, I am going to design a new logo. I'm going to use this part of the logo, but with words. What is my favorite free tool online to do that?
Oh, Jasper, hands down.
No, logo. Not
Oh,
Jasper,
logo.
That's words.
Canva. Canva. Can't go wrong with Canva.
Folks, Canva. The joys of Canva. As you can see, I build stuff all day long in Canva. I have the pro account. I love it. You don't need the pro account. I just use it like crazy. So I'm going to create this, and I know based on how long I've been doing this, the size I'm going to need. So what I want to do is I'm going to do it 700 pixels wide by 300 pixels height. And that's just a starter. I'm going to adjust that as I go. And I'm going to grab their logo from their old site. I'm going to just right click and I'm going to copy the image. And I'm going to go to Canva and I'm going to drop that logo in. And I'm going to position in the top right hand corner. And I already know, kind of based on this, that I do not need 300 wide. I need height. I need to be about 150. So I'm going to resize this. And I'm going to make it 150 height. Okay, I'm just going to hit resize. And now I can take this image, pop it in the top right, and I'm just going to go right here, and we're going to put some words here. I absolutely love that I can do all these different things in here. So now I'm going to go into text. I'm going to find maybe a font that I like. Actually, I'm just going to add this heading here. I'm going to copy their name from their website that I've already started building out. I'm going to put that in. Obviously, that doesn't look right, so I'm going to play with it. And Nuno, just because I'm fearing my microphone, please keep me. Tell me if I sound good.
No, I'm with you so far.
Okay, now this is a bit of a plain, little bit of a plain Jane font. So I'm going to go over here. And what's cool, what I love, one of the things I like about Canva is they have all the Google fonts in here. They're all free. My favorite price. So if I look over here, I can find maybe a font that might be just a little bit more fun for what they do. Oh, there we go. It kind of matches with the words in there. And if I just keep going through, there we go. I think. What do you think of that, Nuno?
I think that's great. I think maybe.
Okay.
Wondering if we can maybe italicize it, maybe. I think that this just kind of matches.
Well, I don't know what this font is, and I am not a fan of italicizing in logos.
Okay.
Just so you know, but let's see. Ooh, that's a little too much. Okay, hold on. Oh, you know what I can use? I know which one. That's a little too much. I hear what you're saying. I want to use, so you're talking about a serif font to give it a little bit of a flurry. Is another big word. If I use something like source, okay, or let's see. There we go. What do you think of that?
That's good. That looks nice. Very, very nice.
Okay, cool. So now we've got the word, and I'm going to change that. I can do so many different little things in here to make it just a little bit, look a little bit more professional. And until they give me the font that they want to use, I'm just going to use this temporarily, and I'm going to download my PNG. I want to go with a transparent background so that in case I want to use it in different sections, I can. I hit download. I give it about a half a minute. It's going to download that image for my logo, and now we're going to start building out the top navigation. So I'm going to save my work. Folks, the most important thing you can ever do as a web designer, as anything, is save, and then when you're done saving, save it again. I cannot tell you how many times I have worked on a project that I have forgotten to save and lost the whole evening or the whole day that I've worked and wanted to rip my eyes out. So, always, there's a movie that goes, always be closing, always be saving. Always be saving. You know?
Always be saving. ASP. Always wait. ABS.
ABS. ABS. Okay, so I'm going to go into the back end here. And in Divi, they have this cool thing called the Divi Builder, which lets us build our own header. And I'm just going to hit the header, and I'm going to, if you have some in your library pre-made, you can use that, but I'm just going to build it fresh. Okay, and I'm going to, this is basically just a blank area. I'm going to do just a nice wide there. I'm going to put an image there. The image is obviously going to be the new logo. Click here. I'm going to upload that new logo. Okay. And it's 59 kilobytes, you know. It's very easy on the speed. And I'm going to take this alignment, I'm going to center it. I'm going to get rid of the spacing on both the top and the bottom and the margin. I just want to get rid of it all completely. Okay, yep. And then I'm going to go into this larger area. Spacing. And literally, for anyone who's watching this who wonders how people design websites, this is literally what we do all day long. It seems tedious and it seems sometimes a little boring, but this is exactly how it works. I am literally building this in front of you, pulling it out of my proverbial, I probably shouldn't say the word while I'm using a church website, but you understand what I'm saying, Nina. So now I'm going to build out the navigation, maybe continue with that gold theme. Oops, I just lost the page. Not a big deal. Where did I put that thing? Okay. Copy. Now I want to grab this gold color so I can make the top navigation the same gold color. So I have this really cool plugin, extension for Chrome that's called Colorzilla that allows me to pick the color. You can download it, and I just got to put my mouse over it, and when that box up top gets to be the gold that I'm looking for, there it goes. Oops. I can grab that gold, and I've grabbed that gold color. Now I'm going to make that section, and I'm just going to choose that, and I'm going to choose menu. I'm going to select, I have no menus built, so I'm going to use whatever comes up, which is the basic. I'll show you how to build a menu in a minute, but I'm going to make this area that background color. All right, and then I'm going to fix the spacing on this. Okay, and then within this row, there's white. I got to get rid of that white. I don't want anything. I do want my font to be white on the menu text. And obviously I want it to be bigger because that's far too small. And I think what I want to do is I want to make everything bigger like that. I'm going to choose a different font. What is the font? Oswald. I think we like that one a lot.
Yeah, we love Oswald.
Ooh, that's a little too tight. Nope. I do not like that one. Not gonna. Let me put in condensed. Yeah, Open Sans condensed. And then if I can make this bold, I don't like that one either. Okay, I'm going back to Open Sans.
Now, this is why the whole process of creating all of this, it takes a while, because you're looking for the perfect image, the perfect look, and so forth and so on. So just understand that this is part of everything that you do, because this is how we design the colors of the site and make things all things work, and that's something that is incredibly important.
That's a little too tight. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And again, this is quick and dirty, but now I'm noticing, and I got to narrate this. I'm noticing that the logo is too close to the bar at the bottom, so I want to open up the space a little bit there. So I'm going to go back to where I was doing it before. And in the spacing, notice how I have 4 pixels on the top and 0 on the bottom. I'm going to make it 5, and I'm going to do it for both. And I can use this link to make them both the same. At the top, if I hit save, and I X out of this, and I hit save here, and if I go to the page, this is the old one, and if I refresh, here is the new navigation. So now it's starting to come along. Now it's starting to look like a real website. I actually think I want to change the logo and make it a little smaller.
I agree. I think
and maybe put
just so then it's not as distracting.
Yeah, and actually I think I want to put the word full at the second line. So I'm going back in here, and this is all part of the design process. Okay. Parent background again. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my page that I'm working on. Now, since I've already put it in here, the next time I enable the Visual Builder, I'll be able to work right within the page, because I've edited this before. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to choose that new image that I have. Okay. Yeah, that is better. Okay, and now I'm going to take that image, and I'm going to do a max width of this for, let's see what 500 pixels look like. Okay, that means I'm going to give it a little bit more space above and below. Okay, there we go. And I'm literally, so I have a term for this when I'm adjusting, and it is my favorite term in all of web design. I am pushing pixels. And that's literally what I'm doing. I'm pushing pixels, moving it one by one just to get it the overall look that I want. But let's go back and forth again like we were before, Nuno. This is what greets a person, or this. Obviously, we can see the difference. It looks a lot more professional and so forth. And obviously, when we add the more pages, the navigation will get fleshed out. This is just temporary. So now we can work on the next section here.
Yeah. So we're going to pause here, so let's just come back and see your wonderful face, and we'll come right to the image. So
sorry, I get too involved in the.
No, absolutely, but it's a lot to absorb, and the biggest thing that we want to make sure that people understand is that this is what it's all about. Like, so we're going to walk you through the process of where we go to. As you can see, some things are a little time consuming. Plus, we're also explaining. We're trying to take breaks in between to have you fully understand. And that's what the show is going to be all about. You're going to see us literally take a site that's a little outdated. That means a little love and some inspiration, and then kind of rebuild it based on what it's going to be. Some sessions are going to be a little bit longer than others, but the main point of it is to really build on what we already have and kind of just continuously keep going on it. So. And we're going to start to take page by page and show you the different design elements. I think Andy did a great job. I know we had some hiccups with video, then we had some hiccups with mics, but welcome to having a live show. I guess this is like the things we're also learning too. So, but with that being said, make sure that you stay tuned. We will go live, or try to go live, every week from 1 to 2, and just make sure we're giving you this value. So that's just it, folks. So thank you so much for joining. Andy, any final words of kind of like the things you went over today?
The biggest thing to remember is that web design is a process, and that process takes time and patience to do it the right way. But then when it comes, everything will flow together. But oftentimes, just choosing is the hardest thing. Get over the hump, break things, make a mess, and you'll do just fine.
Awesome. And again, thank you so much, everybody, for being patient with us and just going through the whole situation here. But remember, you already have episode 1 when we laid it all out. Episode 2, we loaded the Divi theme when we went onto SiteGround, which is our favorite hosting provider. Andy started designing the front home page. You saw us use Canva. You saw us use a free picture kind of downloader, and just for free images that are out there. So again, thank you so much, and we really appreciate it. So just make sure you check us out live every Tuesday from 1 to 2 o'clock on Eastern, and we'll see you on the next show. All right, and we're going to end with a little music. Again, we're getting a little more savvy as we go through, and then we'll see you then. Thank you so much, and have a great day.